All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vicki Janowski. I'm the editor of the Greater Wilmington Business Journal, and welcome to this week's Wilmington-Biz Talk, the Business Journal's weekly interview show with area newsmakers and business leaders. Today, we have Chris Babcock joining us. He's CEO of Apiture, a company that I'm sure many of you have heard about before as it's been growing in our region. But depending on what sector you work in, or if you're in the fintech cluster here that's been growing, you may or may not know exactly what Apiture does. So that's what we're here to talk to Chris about, as well as what's been fueling the growth of the company and what they have looking ahead of them. So Chris, thanks for joining us today and giving us a little bit update on where Apiture is right now.
Great. No, thank you very much, Vicki. It's great to be here.
So Chris, can you start us off and just give us like a quick primer? Exactly what does Apiture do and what's its role in the financial technology world?
Absolutely. Yeah. So Apiture is a digital banking provider. So we sell software to financial institutions, to banks and credit unions that enable them to deliver digital solutions to their customers. So either a consumer or a small business. So think about if whoever you bank with, if you use a mobile application to access your bank on the web or a tablet, we sell the solutions that empower financial institutions to offer those services.
And you were recently, or Apiture was recently named Coastal Entrepreneur of the Year, which was out of the CEA program done by the Business Journal and UNCW CIE. And part of that was because of the growth in recent years. So can you talk a little bit about that in terms of from when it was founded here in Wilmington to where you guys are now?
Yeah, no, it's an exciting story. So Apiture was founded in 2017. And originally we were a joint venture between Live Oak Bank and First Data, which is now part of Fiserv. In that founding, we since then have rolled out substantially additional feature functionality for our products, both on the consumer side, the business banking side, and digital account opening. And we have over 300 customers today. And our revenue continues to grow, and our employee base and customers grow. So over the last 12 months, I think we've added 20% of our staff, and a lot of those in the Wilmington area, and are excited to continue to expand over time in servicing the needs of the financial community.
What's that customer mix look like? Is there typically an asset size that you guys are working with? Have you started working with international institutions yet?
Yeah. So today we're pretty much all domestic, and the sweet spot for us from an asset size for banks is say anywhere between 500 million up to about 10 or 15 billion in assets. We do have some financial institutions that have grown with us over the years. So, for example, Pinnacle is a $40 billion institution that has been doing business with us for quite a long time. And so we love to grow with our customers and have customers that are looking to grow both organically and through acquisition for us. But that's typically our sweet spot. Have a couple of opportunities from international players coming into the U.S., but haven't ventured outside the States yet.
Okay. And you mentioned a minute ago about the origins with Live Oak Bank. So I consider you guys part of what I call the Live Oak Multiverse. Can you kind of explain a little bit about what is your role, or what's Apiture's role now with Live Oak, and how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So Live Oak is a shareholder of Apiture. And we have two members of the Live Oak Bank that sit on our board. And we also have a close relationship with Canopy, which is a SBIC fund that Live Oak Bank runs, that all of the limited partners are financial institutions, and they invest in companies similar to Apiture that are providing financial services that help banks better service their customers. So as you described, the multiverse, you've got this ecosystem here that's formed in Wilmington, all around helping to serve banks and credit unions better. And for us, we're being the digital front end for that. We have integrations with over 200 different partners that we bring into our product, and kind of think of Apiture as curating a solution for these financial institutions. And a lot of financial institutions in our sweet spot don't have the technology staff, similar to a Bank of America or Wells Fargo. So they're trying to compete with the bigger folks, but don't have as many technology folks to help bring some of those things together. So for us, being connected in with Live Oak Bank and in with Canopy to have sort of a front row seat to the innovative players that are coming out allows us to drive innovation for our clients at a faster rate. And that's really a big reason why we've continued to win business in the space is the speed to innovation that these banks need to be able to compete with the bigger players. It's really important. Everything moves so quickly today.
And since you have been working in this fintech space that Wilmington has seen, really grow rapidly, if you look back just between a decade ago and now, what are your thoughts in terms of how that cluster can continue to grow here? What can the region do to better maybe encourage even in more growth or more companies like Apiture to grow from the ground up? What's your take on just its role in the local economy?
Yeah, no, it's a wonderful place to do business, right? And you're getting more and more folks that are recognizing that and choosing to move down here and spend time here. You've got the beach. It's from an outside of work standpoint has a lot to offer. One of the things that we do within the community to help build it is the accessibility of it. Anything about flights, for example, into ILM. The expansion of the airport has been great, right? Adding those terminals and continue to expand it. We actually contribute to that. We donate some money to encourage them to increase the number of direct flights in and out of ILM. So, we've added some flights to LaGuardia. I think we're working to get a direct flight up from Miami and Boston, and some of these flights that are seasonal to get them more. So I think increasing the accessibility of this, town really helps. And then, in today's day and age, you've got a lot of remote workers, right? And folks that want to be able to work in different locations. So you have the ability to attract talent that maybe don't live in Wilmington initially, but it's a great place for them to move to or come to, right? So they might start somewhere else and then come here. And then the last thing that we have really tried to do well is stay connected to UNCW. And the folks that are coming out of college here, we have an internship program, so we try to bring in numerous interns every year, and then grow talent. Not just getting folks that are really experienced coming in, but also growing talent up from the ground up. And I think there's a lot of opportunity, not just with Apiture, but as that ecosystem that you described earlier expands, right? And we get more and more companies here. It kind of feeds on itself, right, to drive that growth in the area.
Are there any other challenges that you all have experienced in terms of growing or wanting to grow more while you're here?
Yeah, it's a very competitive market right now for technology talent, right? I think all of us that are running technology companies have the same challenge, right? Is that there's a lot of innovation that's happening in the space in a lot of different areas. And there's a limited set of people to fill those roles, right? So I think the competitive drive of offering packages that are going to attract the talent here is something that we've been focused on. For us, we have a tremendous benefits package to try to incent folks to come here. We pay 100% of everything related to medical, including co-pays and co-insurance. And every time I go to the doctor, they really can't believe it. They say that I've never seen anybody with such a great benefits package. And we kind of followed suit with Live Oak Bank there. They also have a wonderful package. So, I think taking care of the employees and making sure that everyone understands it's an employee-centric business is important in this competitive environment. And then offering flexibility. So, it's post-COVID, it's becoming a little bit of almost a religious debate now, right? In the office, out of the office, we've really tried to empower our employees to feel, a sense of ownership over their work here, and then, honor that with flexibility for them and their family, right? So we have a beautiful campus and a beautiful office, but we also have the flexibility for folks to be able to work remotely when they need to and when it's appropriate. So I think in today's day and age, that balance of having a work-life balance and having a inability to really contribute, but having flexibility continues to be a selling point for folks.
And I mean, that's obviously not an issue that's unique to Apiture or to your industry. I'm just curious, as a leader, like, how do you see the workforce changing? Do you feel like this is a permanent shift, and how do you kind of lead through that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it's not going to go back to the way it was before, right? And it's especially, and I do think it varies a bit by industry, right? So, you've got some of the financial firms up in New York, for example, that are really pushing to get folks back to the office all the time. And then you've got other technology companies, like ours that have more of a flexible approach. I think, to me, if you let the work drive the requirement, that's the best way to go about it, right? There are some jobs that, you're better off in the office. You're better off in the office for a certain period of time, let's say. And then there are other jobs that allow you to have more flexibility. So if you let the work drive it, and then, the trick there is to just build a culture of success around the business. So we really try to have everybody engaged in the success of Apiture as a whole. We're either all successful or we're not successful. There's no, individuals here. It's everybody kind of rowing in the same direction to make the company and our clients successful. And the way the world is now, you just got to really focus on building that culture of success across everybody, regardless of where they are.
Last time we checked in May with the CEAs, you said you had about 320, so correct me if that number is wrong, but about 320 employees. Roughly how many of them are based here in Wilmington?
Yeah, we did. It's numbers about right. So we've Wilmington's our headquarters. We've got about 135 people in Wilmington today. We have another physical office in Austin, Texas, with 55, 60 folks that are down in Austin. And then the rest of the folks, do work remote. We've got a concentration of folks that are in the Atlanta, Charlotte type areas, which is in Raleigh, which is great because it's close to Wilmington as well. So easy to get, people in and out when we want to get folks together.
Okay, and as you're looking forward, what's next? Any other current or future projects that Apiture is working on?
Yeah, well, we continue to innovate, right? So the need to innovate for our financial institutions is really strong. We have a chief innovation officer that works here with us that is driving two areas in particular that are important for us are embedded banking, API banking. So allowing other non-financial players to embed banking services directly into the offerings that they have, we see as a trend that's going to continue. And then data analytics. So having so many customers running our product, there's a lot of information and data around the spending habits and how people are living their financial lives that can help provide insights into financial institution about providing loans or helping people save and that kind of thing. So I think on top of our main solutions of consumer and business banking, adding the API enablement of that. And then the data insights really will help enrich our offering and we think bring a lot of benefit both to our existing clients and as well as new prospects.
All right, well, thanks. I appreciate you taking the time to check in with us today. I know we, the Business Journal, have been covering Apiture ever since its formation, so we'll be checking in also as you guys continue to do some of those new projects and continue to grow. So, and for those of you who are watching, of course, I'm sure you are all subscribers to the Business Journal, so you will be reading about all that in our future editions and also our afternoon emails. Just a side note to those who are watching right now, and if you're signed up for our emails and newsletters, you should see a breaking news item coming out very soon about an industrial park sale on US 421. If you are not a current Business Journal subscriber or receive our emails, you should definitely sign on to the website and look that up. If you want to catch up on previous BizTalk podcasts or discussions, you can go to WilmingtonBiz.com, or you can find us on your favorite podcast streaming platform. Chris, thanks for joining us today, and we appreciate all you guys tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much, Vicki. Take care.